Welcome back. So contrary to popular belief, estate plans are not just for the wealthy. In fact, most people have something of value and could benefit from a good estate plan. My guest is Darcy Bergen, who practices in Peoria, Arizona. Good to see you again, Darcy. Thanks for joining us.
Well, great. Thanks for having me, Scott.
So why don't we start out with the basics here. Talk about the difference between a will and a trust.
Yeah, I call a will, your regular will that you do, I call it a public will. And the problem with that is your beneficiaries, your heirs, have to prove it in court, publicly, in probate court. And probate court in Arizona is backed up about 18 months, so it's very time consuming. If you have a will, you leave behind a part-time job for your children. So don't do that. It's expensive and it's time consuming. But a trust has a private will inside of it. So that trust is now a private document, and the will, it doesn't have to go through court. So your successor trustee, whoever you've chosen to wrap things up, they just distribute the assets to your beneficiaries. There's no probate, there's no need for lawyers, it's cost efficient and it's time efficient. So definitely we promote trust to our clients. You never plan to fail, you fail to plan, that old adage. So definitely a trust with all its documents is a great way to go.
So one of the important aspects of estate planning is to minimize taxation. How do you go about that?
Well, in everything we do, we're always thinking about taxes, and so when we do an estate plan, we want to make sure that if we're transferring assets to the next generation, we do it tax efficiently. So if we know that we're not spending a certain pot of money or we don't need it to live on, we might reposition that into a wealth transfer strategy that may use life insurance. Life insurance grows tax-free, and it pays out to beneficiaries tax-free, and there's no probate. It's got beneficiaries listed. So life insurance is a great way to pass assets through without any income tax. Another way to save taxes is when we work with our lawyer, our estate planning lawyer, with our clients, we want to make sure that the right assets are in the trust and the right assets are not in the trust. For example, if you have an IRA or a 401k, you don't necessarily want it to go through a trust. You want it to go right to the right beneficiary, a spouse or children. Because if an IRA goes through a trust, you may have tax problems. That may be all taxable all at once. So we want to make sure that the right assets are in the trust, and for tax reasons, we might want the IRAs to go directly to the named beneficiaries.
So Darcy, then talk about some common mistakes that people often make.
That is a common mistake, Scott, where you put the IRA in the trust, or you have the trust as the beneficiary, and it becomes fully taxable. So that's a major mistake we see a lot of, where the IRA just should go directly to the spouse or the children, not through the trust.
Well, Darcy, this all sounds pretty complex. Is an attorney always necessary here?
Yeah, I mean, we have in past used document preparers, but what we like to use now is we use estate planning lawyers. We have one that comes into our office, meets with our clients right in our office. He reduces his fees because we provide the office and the client. And so we use an estate planning lawyer that does what he does. So we get the best advice for our clients through that lawyer, and we work together with him to fund the trust and make sure it's in force.
Why is it important to consult with a professional when you're creating an estate plan?
Well, professionals are supposed to be experts in their field, and so we use multiple professionals. So professionals working together, you're going to get the right advice and the right things done. When people don't consult professionals, we see a lot of mistakes, a lot of tax problems, and things that are missed in a trust. So it's always good to use a professional when you're dealing with these kind of issues.
Darcy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott, for having me.
My guest has been Darcy Bergen in Peoria, Arizona. Thanks for watching Retirement News Online.